These are made for me to own, pretty much. Like, I was destined to own these sweaters. Hi there, Michelle here. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is a thrift with me and thrift haul. We went to a bunch of thrift stores yesterday. That was Saturday. Today is Sunday, where I'm filming, you know, what I got. But yesterday we left early and we came home late. We went to so many thrift stores. So many thrift stores. So let's just get right into the thrifting portion of this video. The first store we went to was this little, I don't think it's a charity shop. I think it's just a random thrift store. I've only been in to it, I think, just one time. Their stuff's a little disorganized. I didn't really find a lot of things. I did find this t-shirt here, which I love the colors. Now, I did find this sheet set here, and although I loved it, I thought it was adorable. The material was just way too faded, way too gone, that if I wanted to make anything out of it, it just wouldn't have worked out. If it was in better condition, I would have 100% bought it. What do you need? No. What is him? He's the Frog King. You've seen some things. Then we headed over to the first value village of the day. $80, like, come on. Then they had all these McDonald's Beanie Babies from like early 2000s. I'm pretty sure I had a few of these and still do somewhere. There was all of these, I think needlepoint, they were $20. Okay, if they were maybe just like $9, $10 even, might have picked one up. And then there was that really cool wolf one, but $16, like, come on. No, not happening. Then I checked out the towels. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I really want to find some vintagey looking towels so I can make like cool sweaters out of them, if you know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, this one did not have anything that I was looking for. Then I headed over to the yarn and craft section. This one here actually had so much yarn. There was so much yarn at this one. I mean, like, look at it all. There's so much of it. You know, I parked my cart and I was just throwing things into it because these yarn prices are better than at craft stores. Then I looked in the men's section, trying to find some cute men's polos for the summertime. So hard because a lot of it just looks like athletic wear, and that's not what I'm going for. And everything just looks too modern. I'm looking for something that looks a little bit more vintagey. This one, I really loved the fabric of it. And I did do a DIY before where I did make it smaller, but this one was just a little too large, and where the pocket was, I just don't think I could have made it smaller because the pocket would have just got in the way, so I did leave it. Then I checked out the women's section. 2016, Michelle, I would have bought that. Would have bought that in a heartbeat. 2023, Michelle, was looking for other things. Found some roller skates. They were not my size. If they were my size, I might have picked them up. Then we went to the second value village. I saw this little duck key holder or something you put on the wall, but I did pass it up. Then I found this amazing vintage looking metal box. Just looking at it, you probably guessed it came home with me. Then I checked out the sweaters and I saw this one. In the end, I didn't get it just because the little image in the middle was just too small. I think if it was bigger and covered more of the front, I probably would have bought it. This one was cute too, but I just don't particularly go for gray. If it was a different color, maybe. And then I saw this shark one. I was like so tempted to buy it. And it was $5, and I kind of regret not getting it looking at this like footage. It was just way too big. Then I headed over to the men's section, just like the other store, looking through their polos. I saw this one and I thought it was really cute and I was really excited, but you can probably tell at the bottom of it's a little messed up, and I didn't realize that right away. Look at that. There was nothing I could do about that. Then I went to the fabric part of the store. This one actually has a ton of fabric, ton of blankets, everything. And I really loved this fabric because I kind of want to make some clothing for the summer. And I thought these would make like cute trousers. But then when I saw the price tag, I was just like, I can't buy this and not make something out of it right away. If I had a plan for it today or that day, I would have picked it up. Then we headed over to one of the last stops for the day. The last stop for this video, technically, was this reuse it store, and they had a lot of like knickknacks. They had a lot of like thrifty kind of things here. Other reuse it stores, some of them just have, you know, the counters, appliances and everything, but this had a bunch of random things, so that was kind of neat. These plates were really cute, but again, I don't need plates, so I did leave them. They had this really cute kind of like lighting area that I had to walk through, not really looking for lights, but I had to check it out. I actually bought one of these in one of my past videos. I still haven't hung it up in my wallet because I don't know what I want to do with it. I loved this chair. One day when I have a house, you know, this is going to be my furniture. And then the last thing I saw before I left was this double full-sized bed frame. It was $60, and I would have paid the money for this bed frame because it is vintage. It's that very mid-century modern with the tapered legs. This is what I want with a little shelf, but it wouldn't fit my sister's car, so I did have to leave it. We're back. Estate sale and garage sale season is kind of coming up. Sure, estate sales can go on anytime, but I feel like they are more prominent, more of them in the spring and summer months. So I like to keep $20 worth of fives, so like 4 fives, in my purse at all time, just in case I stumble upon them. And I've already done it twice, and one of those times was actually this morning, which will be included in this video. First thrift store we went to was actually one that's only been open for a few months. I've only went to it once before because you have to spend like over $10 in order to use the debit machine. So if you don't have cash on you and you're not spending over $10, you know, you're kind of out of luck. I don't really go to it that often, but my sister hadn't been there yet, so we decided to go. It's one of those shops that doesn't have price tags on the items. There's just signs everywhere. If you've been watching my channel for a little bit, at least since the fall, this might look familiar. I found this exact one back in October, back when me and my sister went to London, Ontario, not to be confused with London, England, because those are two different places, to their Goodwill outlet, the bins. I didn't find this there, but I found it on one of the thrift stores on the way home. And I actually found this one, and it was Penman's, and it was a size medium, but it was just a little too snug, a little too small. I've been looking at it for all these months. It is now April the 2nd. I bought this like, what, 5-6 months ago? Finding this, I'm so happy because I really wanted to wear it. I really wanted to wear it, but it just didn't fit right and it was uncomfortable, so I never did. There's no more size on it, but like looking at it, like I know the brand because I already have it. I feel like this is probably the large, extra large version of it, and I'm really happy I found it because I really wanted to wear it, but I couldn't, so here's this. I also do want to mention that if you hear any like cars going by, wind, noises, birds, or anything like that, I do have to have one of my windows open because my fussy cat wants to look outside the window. It's kind of funny. The first shirt I bought like this, too small. This one, maybe a little bit too big. Hear me out. If you watch my last vlog, I deconstructed a shirt that was too big and made it fit me. Also, what I'm thinking is I have an idea. I would like to buy some jersey fabric. Now when I mean jersey, I don't mean sports jersey fabric. I don't like that stuff. I mean like that stretchy material that usually t-shirts are made out of. Anywho, I would like to get some and make myself my own little collar. I'll show a picture here of the t-shirts I'm looking for. I love the ones that have the little band here and then the matching band on the collar. I probably could do that. So I just need to go to a fabric land and buy that fabric and just make a little collar. That way it's closed in a little bit. Even though it's like oversized, it's like the good oversized shirt. You know what I mean? Can't be mad at that. I mean, I'm looking at the mirror all the way back there and it actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, yes, it does look oversized, but you know, we'll see where we can go. I think that if I did make the neck a little bit smaller, take the neck in a bit with my idea, I think it would fit me a little bit better. But yeah, that's what it looks like. And then we ended up going to a Value Village, and I didn't find any clothes at this particular one, but I found something just as good that will eventually make clothes for myself. I found yarn. I found good yarn. This is the Patons Astra collection, and they were $2 each. This at Michael's $3-4. I think it's like 4 something, but then when you use the coupon, it goes down to 3 something. I bought 6 of these. It's a very pretty turquoise color. And I know I always mention this, that blue, you know, but when it's more on the greeny blue side, turquoise, teal, aqua, seafoam, I love it. At one point it was my favorite color. I think it was everyone's favorite color back in 2016. Everyone was obsessed with it, including me. I am kind of thinking about working on some projects for the summertime. The color is called Blue Aqua, and I guess someone wanted to make something with all these, and then they proceeded to not to do that, and now I have them to make something out of. And I really like them because they are a very lightweight yarn. They are a light 3. I would use a 4mm crochet hook, so it's a little bit lighter than what I'm used to, and I have some really good projects that require light yarn. Now I got this, but then I also found these. These are really cute. I've never heard of this brand. It's a Boutique Catalina, you know, the Catalina wine mixer.
Catalina wine mixer.
This color, it's just giving me a number. You would also use a 4mm crochet hook with it. I got 3 of them. There was only 3. If there was more of these, I would have bought more. There was a ton of yarn there, as you probably saw in the footage. But the yarn itself is really nice. It is 100% acrylic. It was made in Canada, which is giving me that this is probably old yarn. And then after that one, we ended up going to another Value Village where I found some really good things. I always feel like when you go to a thrift store, you have to find something like right off the bat, because then you're like, okay, well, I'm already buying something. What else can I find? Whereas if you don't find something right away, you're like, do I really need this? Do I really want to buy it? I found something like right off the bat, and I can't believe I found it. This amazing box. I am pretty sure it's vintage. These flowers and pattern really came back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, but just the way that this is made, the way it's welded, the way it's put together, the way the lock is giving me like 60s, 70s. And even if it's not, it still gives those retro vibes, and I'm fine with that. I mentioned this in one of my other videos. I looked this up on the internet, and this is how I perceive things, is that retro is anything that gives off a vibe. So sure, say if this was made yesterday, it's giving retro vibes because it looks like it's made from a particular era, where if it's vintage, it has to be over 20 years old, and then if it's antique, it's over 100. There's a little info if you didn't know it already. So this is probably vintage, and it's definitely retro. The way that this is taped with masking tape, and there's the key in here, definitely seems like it's a little vintage, you know? It's just, it's giving grandpa vibes, basically, because this is what my grandpa did as well. I find things of his, a key is taped to it, okay? Like this thing back here, that was also his. So also it was $10. I'm gonna put it down because it's really noisy. I don't know what I want to do with it. I'm kind of thinking maybe putting my sewing patterns in there, because right now my sewing patterns are in this and it's full. There's no more room in there for more sewing patterns. And I also like to print off my sewing patterns. So maybe the new tin box I got, I will put all the printed sewing patterns that I buy online, because I really want to make some like overalls this year. I think they're called like dungarees or something like that in Australia. There's some photos of what I'm talking about. I also want to make my own pants. I see a lot of really good patterns online. So I think I might print them out, do it, fold them up, put them in like a Ziploc bag, and then they'll fit perfectly in that tin. So that's my plan for the tin. Also, while I was there, I did find a shirt. I found this shirt, and in my last vlog video, if you didn't watch it, in that video, I did show y'all how I kind of want to dress for the summer. A man from the 1960s, 1970s on their day off, fixing their car, golfing, lawn work, watching TV, having a barbecue. That's kind of the vibe. Also, somebody said retired man in Florida vibes. That's also incorporated into the style for the summer. So I found this one. It was $7. I'm okay with paying $7 for something that's definitely giving the vintage retro vibe. I don't think it is. The brand is Sportex Golf, and like just looking at the logo, that's not vintage. But the pattern of it really looks like it. Also, this looks like golf clubs. I'm fine with that. Do I golf? No. Do I like the golf aesthetic? I'm not gonna say no about that. I think that this would be really cute. And there was another one there that I really loved. Right at the bottom, which I did show in the video, there was a bunch of stains here. Like it looked like oil stains, and then it looks like they were trying to cover it up with some bleach, because it was giving that, you know, like yellowy orange bleach kind of look. And I'm like, I can't take it home. So I did have to leave one of them. And then the other thing that I found there, which I think is pretty good, I bought this. It's not a quilt, not a blanket either. If you look at the bottom here, it's this material, and I think this is one of those like mattress spring box covers that you put under your blanket. This material is not going to be fun to be like sleeping in and be cozy in. So I definitely think that's what it was. I paid $8.49 for it. And I have big plans for this. I'm gonna make it into a coat. Now, I did make a coat years ago. I can't believe I have to say years ago because it literally was years ago. I think it was like 2021, 2 years ago. I did make myself a quilt coat. It went okay. It went okay. Could you imagine me making a quilt coat with this? This is what I want to do. So hopefully I'll get that done and I'll be able to wear it for the spring for at least 2 months until it gets too warm. It's a queen size, so it's really, really big. And that's why I bought it. I bought it because I want to make a coat out of it because it's not handmade quilt. If it was like a handmade quilt, I would feel a little bit guilty cutting it up. I feel like a lot of people are either for it or against it. But this looks like just a mass-produced in a factory kind of thing, but I love it. The last thing that I found yesterday before we get into what I found at the estate sale today, we actually went to a Reuse It store. If you've gone to them, I think they're called like Habitat for Humanity, Reuse It stores. It's a lot of people who are, say, like redoing their house and then they'll donate their like fridges, stove, countertops, cabinets, faucets, random things. This particular one we went to actually kind of had like a thrift store kind of with it. No like clothing or anything. And it was still more like the Reuse It stuff, but there was a lot of knickknacks, a lot of cute things, and I found something adorable. I found another teapot. A little tiny mouse in it having some tea, looking out the window, and then there's a window in the back. And you know me, my new obsession is weird teapots. Goose one, I got a fruit basket one there, and then I have a little mouse in a house. These are not made to be drinking out of. Okay, they are decorative. The brand is the Heritage Mint Limited Collection, which I am pretty sure is that right there. It's the same brand as that, so that's kind of neat. I did pay $3 for this. They originally had it at $4. They marked it down to $3. When I was talking to the lady about it, she said that at one point they had so many of these teapots that came in. And she said there were so many of them, but when I went, there was like 3 or 4 left. So it would have been cool. Although I think the Reuse It store we went to was in Simcoe, so it's not something close by that I would have been like, oh, if I would have only stopped in that day. I'm never really in that area. So the fact I found one, I think that's pretty good. Now let's get into what I found at the estate sale. Now, I didn't film anything in there. Well, I did, but I filmed it more for a TikTok, so it's like, you know, it's filmed this way. So I'll put a little bit of footage in here. But what I overheard about this lady is that she passed away when she was in her 90s, and she was Polish. That's what I kind of like picked up from people talking about her. And I have to say, this woman had the most impeccable taste of sweaters. And I made a joke to a lady. Another lady was in the same room as me looking at the sweaters, and she's like, oh wow, like this lady really loved her sweaters. And I looked at her, I'm like, this is gonna be me in the future. Yeah. Anywho, let me just show you the sweaters I picked out. Paid $5 for 3 sweaters and a purse. Found this one here. It's Tan J. You know that's one of my favorite brands. Well, it's not one of my favorite brands, but it's like in the same thing as Tradition and Northern Reflections and Alley, or LA, you know. Yeah, I love a good sweater that has the false collar on it. All right, so this is how it fits. It actually fits me a lot better than I thought. For some reason, I thought it was gonna be a little bit smaller. So that's good, just because the last time I bought a really cute sweater that was kind of like this material, it was that bird one. I did have to return it. I'm really glad that this fits me. It's like the perfect fit. It's not too loose and it's not too tight. It's good in the arms, because the last one, if you remember watching, I think that was my last thrift haul. I thrifted one with a really cute bird on it, and it said it was a size medium, but it was just too small. And when I went like this, it was like pretty much like that, and it was so tight and just uncomfortable. So this one, I'm very happy that it fits. I don't see any stains, which is good. I am kind of disappointed that I found it now, being the beginning of April, so maybe I'll have a month, maybe 2, depending how May goes, to wear it. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to wear it till the fall time. And then I also found this sweater here. The brand is Impulse. That brand is looking very 90s, very 80s. Looking at these things, I'm like kind of surprised they're not already in my wardrobe. Like I don't already own them. This one also fits me so good. I like these are made for me to own. Pretty much. Like I was destined to own these sweaters because they fit so nicely. I love the fit of this. This one is so cute. I don't have one that's like this. I think in the camera it's looking a little bit more black, but it's actually this really nice brown, black speckled yarn, and it looks so cute and it fits so nice. And I love it when the cuffs are like a little tight, not snug, not uncomfortable, but just like a little tight. So then that way, you know, it has the billowy sleeves. Love the billowy sleeves. You know that if you watch my crocheting videos, because I'm always putting those sleeves in my projects. Again, disappointed that I can't wear these as much as I would like to because it is spring now. And the last sweater I found was this one here. The brand is Entourage, I think. Super cute, love it. So this one here also fits me really nice. This is so nice. This is so wintry. This is so like 80s ski chalet vibes is what I'm getting from this. And it's April. Ugh. I really wish I would have found these. Not that I would have been able to find them, but it would have been nice to have these like in the winter time because I might get a few uses out of them. And then I gotta put them away in storage till next year. But I have some good winter sweaters now. So this one, I love the fit of this one. There was a lot more sweaters there, but unfortunately there were some stains on them and I didn't want to get them and not be able to take the stains out. So I just got the ones that looked the best. Although she had so many amazing clothes. A lot of things from the 80s and 90s. And then the other thing I did pick up was this purse. It's really nice. I like the handle and this was $2. The brand, it looks like it just says Moda Italiana. I know I'm butchering that. But anyways, it's like this dark green and then it has like these brown details and I have a really nice purse right now, but I don't know if I want to use it for the summer because this one here, if you go inside of it, it has so many pockets. I love a good purse that has like an assortment of pockets because then I can put like my sunglasses in here, anything that has to do with like money, debit cards, anything like that, receipts, and then the other one could be like, you know, headphones, knickknacks, a comb, you know what I mean? I love anything with a lot of pockets. Okay, that will do it for this video. If you're new to my channel, you like sewing, thrifting, and crafting, why not hit that subscribe button? You can also follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok. I think that's it. So y'all have a good day now.